I've spent a decade taking a bite out of conspiracy theories, unraveling urban legends, and grappling with worldwide top secret issues.
I've even racked up some of their awards.
Wow, I mean, first of all, what a question.
Journalism is about telling the truth, all while ferreting out the bottom line.
I'm a Harrison Hellraiser.
My mission is to inform viewers
Who want to get to the truth within the unknown.
on all topics, controversial, bizarre, and taboo.
You've taught generations how to view the world in a positive way.
Yes, I have.
I know that, and your humility is the part that's really exciting.
Interviewing movers and shakers, agitators and muckrakers,
That doesn't answer my question. That is all I'm answering.
With me, Cary Harrison, as your guide. What if you had classified emails and you decided to put them in your basement?
I asked you at the very beginning, does there a reasonable expectation that Hillary Clinton would send and receive, if not daily, hourly, if not daily, classified information?
And then pay somebody cash to handle the server and then leak them out somewhere?
So the idea that she would turn over her emails, her system, her server to what it sounds like up to 10 people without security clearances, and there's no consequence.
Would you get in trouble? Some people don't. Would you get in trouble? That's the question, straight ahead. I want to invite you on a one-time only special trip to be one of the first people to sail to Cuba in 50 years. With interior cabins for a week-long, 5-star luxury cruise ship voyage around the entire island of Cuba with multiple port calls starting at only $16.98. Be among the first in 50 years to see Cuba while it's still the Cuba that people talk about. Harrison with you. This is Go Harrison on KPFK 90.7 FM in Los Angeles, also on the Progressive Radio Network on the East Coast, utalk.us, and various affiliates up and down the West Coast of the state of California. I'm talking to you today about it's kind of a philosophical question. If I break the law, I get in trouble. If you break the law, do you get into trouble? We all remember reading Animal Farm. I haven't even introduced my guest yet, but she knows what I'm talking about. The book Animal Farm by George Orwell, where some pigs are more equal than others. Michelle Manos is with Team Bernie LA, one of the greatest organizers from here in Los Angeles on a national network level, has organized so many millions of people to do progressive things, which originally included Bernie Sanders, now shifting more into the Jill Stein camp, and a variety of other things that are the solution. And let's just take a look at the Hillary Clinton emails for just a minute here, because we saw, and let's understand the framework here, the President of the United States is the head of the Democratic Party. The FBI director serves at the pleasure of the President of the United States. While the President is president, on his watch, his Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, does something that's considered naughty. If you do it, it would be considered treason. You could get shot or end up in Leavenworth. When she does it, her boss doesn't want to get busted, nor does anybody else, so somehow they get a free pass. You were witness in Orlando, Florida, just kind of how this machine works, weren't you?
Yes, I was in Orlando at the Democratic Platform Committee planning meeting, where the delegates were voting on what to include in the platform that was to go to the convention floor. It was pretty egregious. The way that it was set up was there was the front area where the participants were sitting, and then those of us that were observers were sitting sort of behind a partition, which is fine. But we
Is that a free speech zone? Or?
Yeah, essentially, but it makes a little bit of sense to know like who are voting members and who aren't, so that's fine. But what happened was you saw sort of great outcry in a lot of solidarity amongst those that were observing, and then the committee would do the opposite in a lot of instances.
So you're the delegates, which means you're representing me.
I'm not a delegate. I was an observer.
You were observer.
Right.
So the delegates, the observers who...
And press. Yeah, and that was it.
Press, representing or telling the story to others.
Right.
And there's sort of a concept, let's say, gold microphone. Everyone agrees gold microphone. And then the Democratic committee says red microphone. And you're watching this happen. So the TPP, and this is just a pivot here, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which is considered the most egregious thing for all of humankind.
Essentially, yep.
Yes. If you haven't heard of this, this is why Bernie Sanders went crazy. This was the money shot. What this does, it takes NAFTA, which is what blew all the jobs out of the U.S., and makes it worldwide. 7 billion humans who no longer are able to have governments represent them.
Harrison with
even
you.
have their
This is Go
streets
Harrison.
paved
We're
through a
just fading
government.
out of that
All
clip.
corporations
If that is
make
not
all
the smoking
decisions.
gun,
If you're a
nothing else
corporation
will be. Watch it
and you
again
want to
and again
sell
and
coal,
again.
which may be illegal because of environmental laws, the environmental laws go away because we're not allowed to interrupt your profit.
So the inner workings of that is essentially now there are these industry state tribunals that are allowed to happen where if the member state, member to TPP, tries to enact laws that protect the environment or protect, the homeland somehow, corporations, these multinational corporations can come in and sue under the TPP and say, this happened under NAFTA, in fact, recently. Not 2 months ago, TransCanada sued the United States under NAFTA, saying that the United States is responsible for its lost future profits because it didn't implement the Keystone XL pipeline. This takes that and allows it to all the member states of TPP, and the language is firmer and it solidifies that egregious system.
Right. So, the threat once upon a time when we were looking at NAFTA was that the Canadians would sue the United States because UPS could not compete with the Canadian postal system, which is obviously going to be cheaper. And now you do this on a worldwide level. And so it was agreed by Hillary Clinton that there's not going to be a TPP. Though she said the TPP is the gold standard of trade deals, she about-faced, hugged Bernie Sanders, stood on the national platform in front of Earth at the convention.
Does anybody believe she's not going to come back and support TPP again? I mean, geez, it's President Obama's darling,
That's right. That's right. So let's understand how the politics works. We're going to see a piece of video here. This was when the FBI director was being grilled by the Senate about the Hillary Clinton emails. And what we find out is that it is when you share classified material from the State Department. This is like sending ISIS emails directly. It's really bad if you do it, if I do it, if the two guys you can't see here do it, or if the engineer over there, Marvin, does it. He ends up in the Slim Slam, in the Gray Bar Inn. He breaks out in handcuffs, a kind of special political allergy. But if it's Hillary Clinton, whose boss happens to be the president, and you get busted and he looks bad, including the entire party, well, this is what they say when you're the FBI.
So you're telling me it's a classified piece of information, she's taking off the header, and she's instructing them to send it in a non-secure format. Is that not intent?
Well, it actually caught my attention when I first saw it, and what she explained to us during our interview was, and other witnesses did as well, is what she meant by that is make it into a non-classified document. That's what a non-paper is in their world.
So there's no intent? It doesn't matter if these people have security clearances?
Of course it matters. That's why I said that.
But there's no consequence, Director. There's no consequence.
Well, I don't know what consequence you'd have in mind.
Prosecute them. I asked you at the very beginning, does there a reasonable expectation that Hillary Clinton would send and receive, if not daily, hourly, if not daily, classified information? That's reasonable to think that the Secretary of State would get classified information at every moment. She's not the head of Fish and Wildlife. So the idea that she would turn over her emails, her system, her server to what it sounds like up to 10 people without security clearances, and there's no consequence. So why not do it again?
That's a question I don't think you should put to me.
We're talking to Michelle Manos. She is one of the greatest organizers in all of Los Angeles, having an effect on the whole country, by the way, moving the progressive movement, eyewitness to the TPP background deals going on as far as the Democratic National Committee was concerned, and it looks like Hillary's going to go with it. Certainly her vice presidential pick is not against it as much as he could be. The whole Goldman Sachs imbroglio. You've got a big action coming up soon here in Los Angeles.
Correct. We're having our next march and rally. If you've attended March for Bernie, Still Sanders, or any of the other events we've had around the city, you're going to love this. It's called Enough is Enough. And we've got, the idea is to come out and meet your local Bernie-crats running for office, engage with some of the folks that are proposing actions against the TPP, against Citizens United, climate change. So we're going to have my good friend Anthony Rogers-Wright. He's a well-known climate activist. Yes. He was with us in the room also in Orlando at the committee planning meeting. We're going to have Kendrick Sampson and Shailene Woodley. And Shailene has been working with the Up to Us caravan folks who are close to our heart at California for Progress. They have been working on this North Dakota pipeline, where the company is digging for the pipeline through indigenous I shouldn't say indigenous lands specifically, but their lands protected through treaty with indigenous tribes. Right. And it's a really horrific thing. I recommend that you follow Shailene Woodley and Malia Hullman, and they've got a lot of great stuff coming out of the ground.
Shailene from the Divergent movie series.
Exactly,
where the Divergent movie has become reality.
And she's actually also an incredible activist and a wonderful person as well.
Yes, she is. As are you. And I want to thank you for coming on. Do we have a website we can go to?
Yeah, we have CaliforniaForProgress.org and the Enough is Enough event on Facebook. There's going to be thousands of us out there, and we would love for everyone to come out and engage in what's now, we're going from Bernie the candidate to Bernie is an idea whose time has come, and we all need to stay involved, and actually it needs to ramp up right now.
Michelle Manos is a community organizer and activist and has a national footprint in bringing progressive values to the American people. Harrison with you. This is Go Harrison.
Thanks, Cary.
From Hollywood, this is Harrison. With me, Cary Harrison, as your guide.
You had classified emails and you decided to put them in your basement.
I asked you at the very beginning, is there a reasonable expectation that Hillary Clinton would send and receive, if not...
I've spent a decade taking a bite out of conspiracy theories, unraveling urban legends, and grappling with worldwide top secret issues. I've even racked up some of their awards.
Wow, first of all, what a question.
Journalism is about telling the truth, all while ferreting out the bottom line.
Hourly, if not daily, classified information.
And then pay somebody cash to handle the server, and then leak them out somewhere.
So the idea that she would turn over her emails, her system, her server, to what it sounds like up to 10 people without security clearances, and there's no consequence.
Would you get in trouble? Some people don't. Would you get in trouble? That's the question, straight ahead.
I want to invite you on a one-time only special trip to be one of the first people to sail to Cuba in 50 years. With interior cabins for a week-long, 5-star luxury cruise ship voyage around the entire...
Harrison Hellraiser.
My mission is to inform viewers who want to get to the truth within the unknown on all topics, controversial, bizarre, and taboo.
You've taught generations how to view the world in a positive way.
Yes, I have.
I know that, and your humility is the part that's really exciting.
Interviewing movers and shakers, agitators and muckrakers.
That doesn't answer my question. That is all.